Liberation greetings to all the great people of the southern Cameroons, my people of Ambazonia. Today is May 8th, and this day in several parts of the world is being observed as the International Day of the Mother. So I want to take this opportunity to say a very hearty Mother's Day to all Ambazonian mothers, to all Southern Cameroon's mothers. Wherever you are, know that today I recognize, I honor you. I join my voice to that of all other Ambazonians and Southern Cameroonians who are honoring their mothers to honor you today. Know that in our hearts of hearts we believe that mother is gold. That is why anytime that anything happens to our mothers, in fact, we all get totally alarmed. We get involved and we rise. So today I want to say a very hearty recognition to all Ambazonian, all Southern Cameroonian mothers all over the world, and in fact to all mothers all over the world this day. But specifically, I want to call some mothers. I may not call all who are in this category, but those that come to mind very quickly and I call, know that if you fall within this category and I haven't, mentioned you, I have you at heart. Because I know the enormous sacrifices you, our mothers, are making to see that we, the people of the Southern Cameroons, we Ambazonians, we get the freedom that we seek, that freedom that is so dear to our hearts. I like to, first of all, recognize the mother of our brother and hero, Braveheart No Pity, my dear brother. I know you are making enormous sacrifices. And our dear mother, I know where you are right now, in the dungeons of La République du Cameroun, for the simple fact that you gave birth to a son who decided to give his life that we may have freedom. And today, you are paying a serious price for it. Our hearts are with you. Be strong, mother. We know what you are going through, and we will continue to pray and stand with you until we get to the promised land. I also therefore want to move from there and extend hearty greetings to the mother of late Ivomba, to the mother also of late Ayeke, to the mother of late Amigo. In fact, there are so many of them in this category. And of course, also to the mother of late Insobu, to the mother of late Chacha. I can't remember all the names, but for all those brave hearts that have gone, dear mothers, I am one spirit with you all today. Even those who sometimes made mistakes and allowed themselves to be manipulated by some of us in the diaspora to end up in their early graves, listen, you have been fighting for us. The only reason you stood up and took a stick in the first place was to fight for us. And for that reason, we will forever be grateful to all of you. So, dear mothers, continue to know that we hold you in a very special place in our hearts because of who you are and because of what you represent to all of us. That said, I'd like us to begin with this thought. This thought was shared with me, this post. I know it's common, it can be everywhere, but it was shared with me specifically by an Ambazonian mother, a young Southern Cameroon's mother. And she said, you have been talking to us a lot about the activities and the incursions of La République du Cameroun in our land and on our people. But I think what we need to know is that, like Steve Biko says, the most potent weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. And I was like, oh, really? Yeah, you are saying something real serious. But what I know is that unknown to this young mother herself, this thought is deeper than you see it, especially when you take it to the context of the Southern Cameroons. And that is going to be the subject matter of our discussion today. I will demonstrate clearly just exactly why La République du Cameroun is after our minds. Because they have played on the field and it's more than them. They thought it was going to be 2 weeks. In the end, they started thinking it could be 2 months. After that, they thought it could be 3 months. But as the time went by, they pushed it to 1 year. And today, they no longer have an idea. I mean, they no longer have any idea how it will end or whether they will ever succeed again in keeping us in bondage forever. And now, because La République du Cameroun is being continually defeated on the ground, on the field, they have made up their minds. The people of La République du Cameroun have made up their minds today to go after our minds because they know that if they are able to take control of our minds, that's why I say this young Ambazonia lady sent me this thought by Steve Biko. She might not know exactly how deep it is, that the most potent weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. And so you will find out just what La République du Cameroun counts on now to be able to overcome us. But before we get to that, let's enjoy a bit of this.
Honorable Weber had a great vision for the liberation of Ambazonia long ago that inspired him to stand up for us in the lion's den in the La République du Cameroun parliament, and the oppressors wanted his head. After escaping into Nigeria, the power of that vision for our freedom drove him back to that parliament, despite the dangers to himself, to challenge our oppressors once again. Today, Honorable Weber's vision for the freedom of Ambazonia is even brighter and surer than ever. He warned La République du Cameroun, when the people shall rise, they ignored him and regret to this day. He warned the SDF, if you do not stand with your people now, they ignored him and their party is dead. Will Amazonia be the next to ignore his visionary warnings and live to regret? This is our unique moment to stand by him and with him as he prepares to steer us in the direction of the freedom we all want. Come to Stuttgart, Germany, May 14th, 2022. Honorable.
So, like I said, I will be in Stuttgart on May 14th. Dare not to miss this opportunity. Let us come together again. Let us strengthen our movement once more. I was very elated when last night I was at a function. I was talking with someone. He said, look, we are planning for a massive movement in Canada. I said, there you go. This is the time for us to rise again, strong, and let the world know that Ambazonians will continue to roar until we get to the promised land. So if you are in Europe, mainland Europe, Eastern Europe, whatever part of Europe, please don't miss this rendezvous. It is not only about Weber. It's not only about Honorable Weber. No. Make no mistake. This is about Ambazonia. This is about showing strength. This is about going back to that mind game with La République du Cameroun. This is about telling La République du Cameroun that you will never get at us, that you will never be able to control our minds. This is the time, more than ever before, my people, where we must seize every opportunity of a gathering to make it big, to make it massive, to continue to send the message to the world, to the United States of America, to all the countries of the world, that we, the people of Ambazonia, know what we want, and we will stop at nothing until we get there. I want to thank and congratulate all of you who have reached out to me to offer to pay my flight ticket to Stuttgart, because you absolutely want to see me there too. And I was like, oh my goodness, I've never felt this special. But trust me, we have to make this moment a great one. And we have to show to all the other so-called members of parliament or senators or whatsoever who failed to have the courage to stand with the people, to show them that it pays to stand with the people, to show them that we will never forget even the least contribution that anyone has ever made or is still making to this movement at this point in time. If you're in any other part of the world and you feel like you can make it to Germany to grace this occasion with your presence, I beg your pardon, don't miss the opportunity. We have to make use of every single opportunity to show the world that we deserve the attention that is increasingly being focused on our situation. This is a very important message, and please don't play with it. So before I come to the crux of our discussion, I want to get to some side issues. And I want to get into these side issues just to remind the people of the Southern Cameroons who still get somewhat confused, who are still wanting to stand on the fence, who are still, drinking of the stupid doctrine of a one and indivisible Cameroon, to note that you are making the error of your life. Do you need to bother belonging to a country that doesn't care for its own citizens? Look at this gentleman that you see on the screen here. You see him cuffed on a hospital bed. He is not a Southern Cameroonian. He is not an Ambazonian. I'm using this to explain to us all that if a tiger can eat its own very young one, what will it not do to the flesh of a pig? Just take a look at this. This young Cameroonian, his name is Mvondo Eve. You see him chained to his hospital bed. At this moment that I'm talking, he has even been moved from the hospital bed where he was battling with his life and thrown into jail. He has been remanded to prison custody. And what is his crime? Simply because he stood up against his Chinese employers inside Cameroon about his unpaid wages. Because he dared to complain to the Chinese that they had not paid his wages, and he really felt like it was an injustice. So the Chinese got him thoroughly beaten. This happened 2 weeks ago. I mean, well beaten. And the man decided that he couldn't continue working without pay. But they got him well tortured. And after all of that was done, and this gentleman found himself in hospital, battling with his life, the Chinese got to the police with all their money. You understand what this means? They use money to turn security operatives who are supposed to protect Mvondo Eve against him, and see him in a badly beaten state. I mean, beaten almost like a slave. They still had the audacity to chain him to his bed to please the Chinese for the money they gave them. The Chinese didn't end there. To teach a lesson to all other Cameroonians working for them, never to ask for what their due is. They moved a step forward, got to the State Council with a huge envelope and demanded that the guy be remanded. And that guy was moved from the hospital bed straight to the prison yard. Is that a country you want to belong to? Is that the kind of country you want to find yourself in, my brothers and sisters of Ambazonia? This I am reminding all and sundry. Never turn away. I mean, never turn away from your people and be running towards the people who are molesting your people. They will never consider you. So if they can't even stand for their own, is it for you that they will stand? A few days ago, I uploaded a conversation between Success Nkongo and Remy Ngona on this platform because I wanted our people. I know it was in French and a lot of people wouldn't get a lot of grasp of what we were saying, but I will eventually bring that conversation with English language subtitles. The reason is simple. Not because I think Success is someone who needs to be trusted or believed, but so that you see the misadventure. So you see what Success found himself in when he was struggling to betray our cause. That he came face to face with the reality that no matter what you do as a Southern Cameroonian, La République du Cameroon will never consider you as a human being. Never. That will never happen. I assure you, my people, verily, verily, La République will never consider you. So just look at it one step ahead. That even their own citizens in their own country can be this molested by foreigners and then treated with the tacit cooperation of those institutions that should protect them. What is the use belonging to such a country? Listen, Ambazonia, Southern Cameroons, is real as life and as real as death. Don't allow anyone to play on your intelligence and turn you against that which you should hold so dear to your heart and to your mind. This is why, my dear people, I come to this platform day by day to let us see that this is a moment that has been chosen for us to restore our dignity as a people, to give ourselves the opportunity to prosper as a nation, to be able to define our own development priorities and execute them without having to wait on any fingong to come in from Yaounde to tell us what to do, what food to eat, or what to take. My people of the Southern Cameroons, that ship of La République du Cameroun is sinking. I mean, sinking continuously. I said on this platform several times that La République du Cameroun was cash-strapped. Until this day, you now see every other news platform is telling you the state budget of La République du Cameroun for 2022 has been seized by the IMF. Because when I said it, I challenged. Even today is the 8th day of May. Until this day, no vote holder has received the credit cards to begin executing the 2022 state budget. That is a sinking ship. And my people of Ambazonia, we have overwhelmingly made this possible, and we are close. Put me on record. Ambazonia is going to be one of those countries that achieved independence, faster than anyone ever thought about it. Unknown to a good lot of our people, we are making extreme progress. Extreme. We are making so much progress every day. And all La République du Cameroun wants to do is to make it seem to us that we are either stagnating, that we're either on the spot, or we are going backward by dangling a mirage of a failed movement. But indeed, as you're going to be finding out with me today, we are making so much progress. And we should always, therefore, be able to give ourselves a pat on the back, congratulate ourselves every day for the incredible progress that we are making. You know when you are making it because of the tactics that your opponent begins using. Desperation has taken over La République du Cameroun completely. And all those who have been sold the illusion, or were sold the illusion that we're going to be annihilated so quickly, people we held in high esteem, people we trusted, people we believed in, people we looked up to, that they were going to stand up for us and with us so that we overcome this challenge and take back our country, made that mistake, miscalculated so badly, and today they are paying for it. Just take a look at this one on my screen. This is Frundi. Oh, how are the mighty fallen. This is Frundi, now receiving members of the choir of the University of Bamenda at the residence where in Yaounde. In Yaounde. Mr. Frundi at old age, a man who loved to be at all the funeral ceremonies, who loved to be at all the local parties, sharing with his people. At old age, today he's on self-exile in La République du Cameroun, a full-blown IDP. These are the consequences of standing up against your own people. Mr. Frundi, we can't deny him that, made a huge contribution to the political life of not only Cameroon at the time, as we called it, but especially in the southern Cameroons. But see where he is today. Because of that mind game, La République du Cameroun prevailed on his mind and on the minds of those who continue to call themselves our elites, to feel that our freedom is impossible, to make them think that it is a lost venture and that they should jump ship and be with them and then they will have privileges. Gradually, as the days are going by, a few of them, because some are still dreaming, a few of them are beginning to come to terms with the fact that they are actually on their own, in the middle of the road, on both sides, haunted by the spirit of freedom in Ambazonia, haunted by the spirit of marginalization and hatred in La République du Cameroun, and then confused by the simple thought that at the end of the day, they are nowhere, they belong nowhere. This is not an enviable position to find yourself in. And now, listen to this gentleman. This is another one that people they're looking up to. Apostle Ambengwa. He was talking. People said, no, this man is making sense. And so La République said, now that we know that they have started listening to this one, it is time to cut him off. And so they moved to him in continuation of that mind game. Just watch and listen.
The truth is, I made a statement once. I said the Anglophone crisis is the whole nation against the Northwest. Take it from my mouth.
Thank you, Apostle. Thank you, man.
This is what I said. I wrote it on my social media handle. I said the Anglophone crisis is all the nation against the Northwest. As a matter of fact, it should be tagged a Northwest crisis. It's not Anglophone crisis. It's Northwest crisis. And this should sink deep. And until we accept these realities, we're going to be beating the air.
This gentleman, a self-styled Apostle Ambengwa, I'm sure just 2 days ago, he should have been, confused with the news that our brave hearts had taken over the Kumbamamfe Road, all of it. And that for 48 hours, non-stop, no La République talks could pass around there. And these are not Bamenda boys. And that is not in Bamenda, unless Ambe is telling me that Kumba has been transferred to Bamenda. Unless he's telling me that Ndian has been transferred to Bamenda. Unless he's telling me that Manu has been transferred to Bamenda. Listen, my people. Like I said, La République du Cameroun has touted this position over and over and over and over again. The simple reason, they know that it was through divide and rule that they kept us in bondage for 60 years until we were not able to rise. But when we were able to find our bearings with the consortium in 2016 and got everybody unified to rise, La République du Cameroun could not know what happened. They didn't understand what really prevailed, what transpired, that they lost their grip on the single most potent weapon that they had, divide and rule. And since then, they have tried it several times. Even when they notice that it keeps failing, they don't give up on it, because that is the only weapon that they can be able to use against us. But by day and by night, it fails them. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate the younger generation of the Southern Cameroons who have refused to heed to this kind of narrative. Hear him tag it a Northwest crisis. not an Anglophone. Listen, I've said this and I'll say it over and over again. La République du Cameroun hangs so much on the people they describe as coming from the southwest because over time they had come to conduct studies and come to the conclusion that our brothers and sisters from the southern zone, or from what the place they call the southwest, because this in southern zone or southwest never existed in the southern Cameroons right up until 1961. It never existed. It's La République that brought in this division. So because the younger generation has said we will not fall prey to that, La République du Cameroun keeps going back to the studies that they carried out that informed them that the people of this part they call Southwest were a weaker link with weaker minds, can easily be manipulated, can easily be told things, and then they will believe. Easily tell them, you see, those Bamenda that people want to come, they will take all your land. But at the same time that they are saying it, Okalia Bilai Bernard, all the Betty people who have been SDO, governor, or whatever in Fako there, are taking that land every day before their very eyes. But they tell you, no, don't bother. It's the Bamenda man who will come and take all your land. That's why they want you. No. Don't look at them. The Betty people, it is their right to take the land. Bamenda people, if they take it, look, it's bad. Be careful. They will take everything. No, they don't tell you that Sonarado, based in Fako, in that place they call Southwest, has never ever been run by someone of the Southwest. Never. As they will claim it. Never. And that 98% of the staff speak French. And that the few people from Fako who find themselves inside there, a lot of them are in very menial, very negligible positions. Even in the CDC today, a good majority of the directors are necessarily not from Fako. My people of the southern Cameroons, they point to certain, they say, oh, you see, you have the sea, you have the forest, you have oil, you have all the natural resources. They have nothing. It's an arid land. They want to come here, they want independence so that since they are more than you in number, they'll have the possibility to control you, to take everything. That narrative died in 2016. It died. Because my people of the southern Cameroons, I personally consider this an insult to the personality of a people. As to describe my brothers and sisters from Manu, from Dian, from Kupengwadenguba, from Fako, from Meme, as from Lebialem, as weaklings, as people who don't have a mind of their own, who cannot reason, as people who can easily be swayed left or right, as people who can easily be sold illusions and they believe. It's an insult to a people. And I want to congratulate those brave hearts who came out to tell the likes of Ambe and all other buffoons that have tried this in the past, that narrative is no longer sellable. It is no longer sellable. And unknown because I say this. Listen, La République du Cameroun itself has documentation that shows them that the entire southern Cameroons is extremely rich. The entire. Because they have done everything to conceal files that show they even call it embarrassing because it's too much mineral riches that are located in between Ngokutunja, Donga Mantung, and Menchum. They are so confused. They don't want any person from this area, from the place they call Northwest, to have access to this document. Of course, Fu Jonathan Mijingne has this document. Callistus Fu Gentry has it. Why are they hiding it? They say if these people see this and know they have this amount of riches, good Lord, with the determination that we're already seeing them now, and then with the ability to protect their land, protect their resources, and stand for what they believe in, it will become more complicated. Recently, they couldn't hide the news that the grass field, which is made up of that same Northwest that they're referring to, has been discovered as one of the areas in the world where wheat can be grown in so well. Wheat is very important. That's what they use in making flour. And that flour has become super expensive today because of what is happening between Ukraine and Russia. And that the cost of bread and all other bakery products have gone up seriously. Yet, they tell you that is a hotspot where wheat can be grown and exported, and every kind of thing happen. Oh, this is that arid land. La République du Cameroun continues to want to play, but on our minds. These mind games. That is what La République du Cameroun counts on. And as I said a while ago, one of the biggest scams they want to sell to continually confuse us is the notion that our movement is failing. And with this, they have succeeded in taking out of this movement a few people who came in thinking it was a quick fix. And some of them are already on the other side waiting to see the benefits that will accrue to them as individuals when La République du Cameroun subdues us. Unfortunately for you, that is not about to happen. And that, indeed, will never happen. I assure you, it will never happen. I'll be right back.
Honorable Joseph Wirba gathers Ambazonians. The time for his long-awaited great vision for the liberation of Ambazonia has come. The vision that inspired him to stand up for southern Cameroons in Cameroon's parliament to condemn Ambazonia's subjugation. The vision that got the oppressors hunting for his head. Wirba's vision for the freedom of Ambazonia is even stronger and clearer today than before. Let's come together, stand by him and with him. Join him in Stuttgart, Germany for the great come together on freeing Ambazonia. Wirba now has a direct route to Ambazonia's liberation. All routes lead to Stuttgart, Germany on Saturday, May 14th. Be there.
So, we are just a few days away from Saturday, May 14th. And I suppose you already have your ticket, if it's a train ticket, bus ticket, or you are carpooling to Stuttgart. I'm sure you're already fine-tuning all those plans. Now, before I move into the very important aspect of this discussion today, look at this. Recall that we have 3 compatriots in the Maryland area, and their names are Wilson Nuila Tita, Eric Fungi, and Wilson Che Fongu. These 3 brave Ambazonians, southern Cameroonians, were putting together sticks, granules, and all other ingredients that they could to send back home to our brave hearts, to help them to defend themselves against the onslaughts from Mr. Paul Biya's talks. Today, they are facing prosecution in the United States of America. And of course, one Nsalai Emmanuel is behind all of this, of course, at the behest of La République du Cameroun. My dear brothers and sisters of Ambazonia, none of us has the power or the might to rise against the U.S. justice system. All what we need to do is stand with our brothers in solidarity. Mangang and others are facing the same situation out there in Minnesota. And so take note that there are some who were also, picked up besides these brothers whose names I just called, and who have decided to go beyond just cooperation and try to see if they could give a lot of information, leaks and all kinds of things, sometimes even selling conspiracy theories against Southern Cameroonians to secure either freedom or lesser sentences. But these three gentlemen, Wilson Nuila Tita, Eric Frunji, and Wilson Chefongu, have continued to stand strong. I'm urging all of us to stand with them in solidarity. There may be nothing much we can do rather than just contributing to, to their legal fees, or showing up, showing solidarity, calling them, encouraging them, or showing up at the courts the day they have to stand trial in huge numbers, not to influence the justice system, to show solidarity and to strengthen them so they know that the notion of all for one and one for all remains very strong among us Ambazonians. This is the sacrifice that each and every one will have to make to ensure that we get to homeland. On the way to getting to our objective, to a free Ambazonia, a lot of people are paying a serious price, but proudly doing so. And that is why we must do everything to continue to stand by and with such brothers. This is a patriotic call, my people. If you are in the Maryland area, Virginia, Delaware, these areas, make sure the day you hear they are going to the courts, come out. Let's come out peacefully. Stand with them. Not to protest against the U.S. justice system. No, we can't do that. Just to come, stand with them, show solidarity, and let them know that they were not doing something for themselves or for their fathers and mothers, but that they were doing something for Ambazonia, for the freedom of our people. My dear people of Ambazonia, this is something we must not ignore. If you know any of them, give them a shout. Call them, encourage them, and remind them that we stand one with them all the way until we attain our objective. And so, my people, I said a while ago that the only thing La République du Cameroun counts on is to play mind games on us. Listen, how often have you settled down and taken time to look at the grounds we as a people of Ambazonia have covered in just 5 getting to 6 years, and then you look at other movements before us and try to measure where they were 5 to 6 years gone into their movements, you will understand that we have been moving on very top speed. If a lot of those other people were moving at 30 miles per hour, which is already great speed, we have been on almost 90 miles per hour. That's the speed we have been on, leading to our freedom, leading to our independence. If you doubt it, let me tell you this. Eritrea, you can ask our Eritrean brothers, they did this in almost 30 years. Almost 30 years. By the time they were 5 to 6 years gone, I'm not sure. And you can find out. The history books don't lie. They didn't have the degree of notoriety that we have now. The same thing with East Timor. Almost the same time frame. And then I want to tell you a secret. Do you know that our brothers and sisters from Eritrea, for 13 years, they fought so hard to have the U.S. government designate the people from Eritrea who are in the United States with a temporary protected status. It never happened. They lobbied heavily for 13 good years. It never came to pass until they ended up getting their independence. They never had that. That never happened. it didn't. No. The same thing with the people of East Timor. They fought hard to get to that. It never happened. Now, flip over to Ambazonia. We're only 5 getting to 6 years gone. And we are facing an enemy that has had the World Cup of corruption 2 straight times. I mean, the World Cup for corruption 2 straight times. And they have poured hundreds of millions in CFA, I should say billions, into the United States. Hired at single moment, sometimes 5 to 6 public relations firms to fight for them, lobby firms to fight for them. After they saw us pick up Foley and Hawk law firm, they learned from there. They went through Square Pattenberg. So many of them signing contracts, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $1 million to do what? Only that they should convince the U.S. government that we are bad people, that they should even tackle us terrorists. I mean, La République du Cameroun had used all its artillery in the United States to achieve this. But at the end of the day, with all of that, only 5 getting to 6 years gone, we have the rare privilege today to be hearing TPS. Wherever you are in the world, watching me now, right now, as an Ambazonian, as a Southern Cameroonian, pour yourself a glass of wine and tank it down. Congratulate yourself, because each and every one of us made this possible. Our mothers, our fathers, everyone on ground zero that have been respecting just the Monday Country Sunday. You are our heroes. You made this possible in so short a time. This should be a pointer to exactly where we are headed. Listen, my people. A good lot of people, because it happened so quickly, so soon, seemingly without a lot of effort, don't understand the significance of this TPS designation. It is so strong. Far from just providing protection to our compatriots who are in the United States and who could be facing the prospect of being evicted back into the waiting arms of Mr. Paul Biya, far from just that, it is a tacit rebuke of the Cameroon government, a tacit rebuke of La République du Cameroun. And it is a demonstration of a dismal failure of La République du Cameroun's so-called very strong diplomatic cobweb that they built to make sure they halt our movement from being internationalized. Another huge failure. I like to get to some historical facts to you so that you know the countries that to date have ever had the privilege of seeing that people get the TPS status in the United States of America. That should tell you the level to which our independence movement has been elevated. Remember, the same United States of America tried in 2019 to make sure the UN Security Council holds a talk on the situation in the southern Cameroons as a standalone on the agenda. But due to opposition, they ended up having a talk using the Ariel formula. But that hasn't stopped the world from continually recalling that the people of the southern Cameroons are a people, recognized as a people under international law. Despite our disorder, despite our disorganization, we have been making steady progress, very steady progress, my people. As of April 2022, 15 countries in the world have their citizens who are in the United States still enjoying the TPS with even extension. And these are Burma. It's valid right up to November 25, 2022. El Salvador, yeah, it has been extended to December 31, 2022. Haiti, extended to February 2, 2023. Honduras, extended until December 31, 2022. Nepal, extended until December 31, 2022. Nicaragua, I don't could get into all of that. Somalia, South Sudan, Sudan, Ukraine, Venezuela, Yemen, and of course, Cameroon. And now, in the past, you had countries like Angola, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Burundi, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, province of Kosovo, Kuwait, Lebanon, Liberia, Montreal, Rwanda, and Sierra Leone have, these designations. La République du Cameroon's biggest concern is they have tried so much, fought so much in vain to sell a lie. That lie that they have total control of the situation on the ground. That lie that life has returned to normal. That lie that the people of the southern Cameroons had already been subdued. That lie that a majority of our people don't want freedom, don't want independence. That lie that they are in control all over our territory. And of course, if that lie were to be bought, of course, there will be no use for anybody having protection from that government. And just so we all know, and I'm sure that we already have this piece of information, that the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, that has been militantly, on the grounds that we recognize Cameroon as it is, for the first time, they've made clear that in their arrangement with Russia, if Mr. Paul Biya lets the people, let the dogs from Wagner to get into the southern Cameroons, they will find them there. They will find themselves right in there. They will come in to stand with us. Yesterday, it was not possible to hear such talk. My people, I'm raising all this just so we know how much progress we are making. Just so we know that in so short a time, we have covered so much ground. Despite La République du Cameroon's efforts to continue to divide us, to shoot in confusion and all whatnot in our midst, to infiltrate our ranks as agents provocateurs to hold us down, we are marching on steadily. The state of our liberation movement has never been this strong. The fundamentals of our movement are just so strong that they point to the fact that in record time, we will attain our objective. The only thing La République du Cameroon wants you to believe now is that we are failing. Because if you believe that we are failing, of course, you get discouraged. You no longer contribute. You turn against the movement. You start thinking that maybe it makes sense to go and live as a slave under La République du Cameroon. The only other thing they will do is, as much as possible, infiltrate the ranks of the voices in the bushes, exert as much pain as possible on our people in the so-called name of Ambazonia, so that you turn against your own movement. But my people, this is a never again generation of the southern Cameroons of Ambazonia. And nothing will take our eyes off our target, which is Buea. Let us continue in the same light, and especially to educate our people to the effect that anytime you hear La République du Cameroon say this or that, know they're after your mind. Because they know that the only way they can subdue us is to push us towards 1, discouragement, 2, hatred against one another, 3, confusion, and then 4, total demobilization. But, my people, we have to remain strong because we are getting closer and closer to our objective by the day. Before you know it, a lot of things will happen again that you'll be wondering. if this is that movement that just yesterday seemed as if it was failing. La République du Cameroun are licking their wounds. That's why I see them going out now, helter-skelter, confused, overwhelmed, not even knowing what direction to take, finding themselves duped by conmen here and there who pretend to tell them they can offer to them Ambazonia. But they realize by day and by night that the resolve of the greater majority of our people, over 95%, is with freedom and not slavery and servitude. Let us continue to remain strong, and let us continue to believe in our movement. My people, we will get there. Ambazonia will be free.
Honorable Joseph Wirba gathers Ambazonians. The time for his long-awaited great vision for the liberation of Ambazonia has come. The vision that inspired him to stand up for Southern Cameroons in Cameroon's parliament to condemn Ambazonia's subjugation. The vision that got the oppressors hunting for his head. Wirba's vision for the freedom of Ambazonia is even stronger and clearer today than before. Let's come together, stand by him and with him. Join him in Stuttgart, Germany for the great come together on freeing Ambazonia. Wirba now has a direct route to Ambazonia's liberation. All routes lead to Stuttgart, Germany on Saturday, May 14th. Be there. Honorable.
So, I am just now making my bags, getting my things ready as I look forward to meeting you all in Stuttgart next week, Saturday, May 14, 2022. I may come here before then, but if I don't, then. Until then, let's make it a date in Stuttgart. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. To God be all the glory.